government is claiming its hardline refugee policy is beginning to work, with widespread evidence of asylum seekers in Indonesia demanding people smugglers give them their money back. The Immigration Minister says it's proof the message is getting through. Joining me at the desk, Sky News political reporter David Lipson. David, this is a significant news conference which Tony Burke just held just a short time ago with significant news and he says information that the policy is working.
Yeah, and especially in the context of this election campaign, it is a really significant announcement from the Immigration Minister this afternoon, because the government had just so much riding on this PNG plan, now extended to Nauru as well. And Tony Burke says, as you mentioned, the first signs have come to the surface that the policy is actually starting to bite in two areas. First of all, in Indonesia, where intelligence agencies have told the government that there are widespread examples of people asking for their money back. The Immigration Minister
now confirm to you that we have widespread examples on the ground in Indonesia of people asking for their money back from people smugglers. There is no doubt that the message is getting through. For everything that's been attempted in the past with people smugglers, it's become clear that the only way to affect them is to take their product away and to take their customers away.
The other piece of evidence he pointed to was in Papua New Guinea on Manus Island, where the first asylum seekers under this new arrangement are already being processed. And Tony Burke says that some of them have already started making arrangements to be sent home rather than be processed and potentially settled on Papua New Guinea.
We now have a number, I can't tell you the precise number because some of these things can change over time. But we now have a significant number of the people who have been transferred to Manus Island in meetings with the International Organisation of Migration, the IOM, organising their transfers back home.
He says for a lot of them it could take some time before they are actually returned home, because in many cases the asylum seekers don't have their documents anymore. Sometimes they're destroyed, sometimes they don't have them in the first place. But Tony Burke there making it clear that he believes this policy that was roundly criticised both from the left and from the opposition is beginning to work, and that will have all sorts of implications on this election campaign. The Shadow Immigration Minister hasn't responded to this yet. He was speaking earlier today, though, raising concerns about the Memorandum of Understanding that was only ultimately signed yesterday by the two governments. The Australian government says that they signed the agreement on Monday, just hours before going into caretaker mode, but PNG didn't sign the extended, fleshed-out agreement until yesterday. And Scott Morrison believes that there are no guarantees anywhere in that document that asylum seekers that try to come to Australia by boat will not be resettled in Australia. Take a listen.
Our concern is with the commitment and the false promise the Prime Minister made to the Australian people. And what this agreement shows is it doesn't back up that promise. It's him that made the promise. It's he that went out there and spent the taxpayers' money, promising something we knew he could never deliver.
The reality is, though, if the evidence that has been presented that the policy is working already turns out to be correct and can be shown to be correct, that sort of criticism really doesn't hold a whole lot of weight.